Hi guys, my name is Jessica Schneider. Together with my husband, I own and operate Scheiner's Hop House in Northeast Ohio. We grow hops, we run a small CSA, and we do our best to supply our area with eggs and fresh chickens. When Ted and I first considered chickens of our own, we wanted to make sure that our municipality allowed for chickens on our property. There's a cat on the video camera. When we found out that we were allowed to have chickens on our property, we considered what we were hoping to accomplish with our birds. For Ted and I, we wanted eggs of our own, perhaps some meat, and we knew we wanted them here for the entertainment. Once you determine the objectives you have for your flock, you can get into the really fun stuff. This is where you begin to explore the breeds that are available in your area and that will suit both the space that you have for your chickens and the climate near your homestead. For us, a couple other considerations included chickens that were particularly disease resistant, cold tolerant, sometimes but not always broody, and those that would be amiable and docile around our children. We wanted birds that would not turn into popsicles in the Northeast Ohio winters. We wanted birds that would sometimes but not always sit on their eggs and perhaps even raise their own young. We wanted birds that would not chase after little kids, ours or those that were visiting our farm. These were very important qualities for us. We wanted a beautiful brown egg. We tried several breeds on our farm, and the two that really stood out were the Buckeye and French black copper Marans. The Buckeyes are a heritage breed available in Ohio and throughout the country. They are mahogany in color, they are medium in weight, and they're very friendly. Our very first batch of chicks that came to our house included one little guy, and he is now our dominant male. Our rooster, we call him Roo. He has been with us now for 3 years. So as Easter rolls around and you consider bringing home those fluffy little babies from the feed store, please take a moment and consider how long they may be residents at your homestead. Not as long as cats, not as long as dogs or horses, but chickens will be around for a little while, so it's a bit of a commitment. If you've made sure that your municipality is okay with you having chickens, you've determined your flock objectives, and you've picked out a breed, you can decide how many you'd like to bring home. And this is where you get into the lodging aspect. I'll show you a few of the lodging options that we have here on our farm, and hopefully it will help you make a decision about what once you decide that you want to take on chickens at your homestead, you're going to be lured to the chick days at all of the feed stores. There's a couple things you want to do to get ready for those chicks before you pick up your first little batch. Make sure you have a place for them to come home to. We're going to call that the brooder. We started out with a box just like everyone else. We upgraded to a Tupperware, and somewhere along the line we made it all the way up to a livestock tank. We created a wooden frame that sits on top. We wrap that frame in chicken wire to keep predators out, but allow for easy access for food, water, and cleaning out the coop. The brooder, excuse me. Inside that brooder, you're going to need a source of heat. A lot of folks are going to go straight for the red lamp, and we did too, until we had a coop fire just last year. We lost all of our meat birds and our turkeys last year to a coop fire, which burnt clean to the ground in a very, very fast fire. Since then, we have upgraded to the Brinzy, and I may be mispronouncing that, EcoGlow 220. We haven't had a lot of chicks since we haven't had large quantities of chicks since we made this transition. This is a wonderful device. It comes out of Great Britain. You can contour the sides so that one is higher, one is lower. If they are cold, they can gravitate towards the lower end. If they are warm, they can gravitate towards the higher end, or transit out and go get a drink of water or something to eat. This is fantastic. It's held up very well, and you don't have to worry about burning your house or your coop down. Highly recommend. Should you take on this design right here, we've had very good luck with the red lamp on top of this one, but I'll tell you that starting in 2016, you won't find any more red heat lamps here. Inside your brooder, you're also going to need some sort of bedding. The bedding is where the baby chicks are going to make their waste. We want something in there that is easy to clean. Some folks will tell you that newspaper is a good option, though I've heard some stories about chicks sliding about and injuring their legs. Those little legs are very fragile, not unlike a toothpick. So we've always stuck with these pine shavings. You can find them at Tractor Supply, which is just about anywhere. There are feed stores here, there, and whatnot. Great Lakes Supply is right up the road in Bainbridge. If you're near our farm, they're a wonderful source as well. But you want to find something that is easy for you to swap out, something somewhat absorbent, and something that's readily available to you. These packages are great because they can be tossed in the back of a wagon, into a truck, or slide inside the back of a coop. Your primary considerations then are going to be food, water, warmth, and weight. We've taken care of the bedding, the warmth, and we'll move on to the water and the food. As far as the water goes for your baby chicks, you want to make sure that it's something where they can easily access the water. If it's a colder time of year, you want to make sure that you can swap it out very, very easily so that you don't have ice as an inhibitor. The baby chicks need ready access to the water in all times of the year. This coop is one that I designed and built using supplies that we had here on the farm. I also purchased a swing frame, this part of the wood right here, that I found at Mark's for $9.99. The shingles were on hand, and as were most of the other components. It's really heavy, and it doesn't exactly meet my design objectives, but it was fun to practice. Inside you'll find that there's a little bit of a loft. This would be a great coop for a pair of chickens or to use as a sick bay. There's a ramp that goes down and they can graze the full length underneath. I made sure to include a little privacy area when they're laying eggs. I see that the chipmunks have been in here throughout the winter. On the far end, there's a little door you can open if you want to gather your own eggs just there. At Schneider's Hop House, we have a lot of different age chicks, and it's important to separate them because the older chicks will sometimes pick on the younger ones. To augment that need, we picked up a mass-produced, from the big box store, chicken coop that goes out by our garden. We can keep an eye on our juveniles until they're ready to join the large coop. What we have here, this particular one came from Home Depot. Home Depot has been wonderful as far as supporting veterans. They have answered a lot of questions for us along the way, and they're very convenient to our farm here at Schneider's Hop House. This particular model, I can't recall the name of it, to be perfectly honest with you. We reinforced it with some wood glue. We put an extra coat of stain on it and sealant so that it is a little bit more tolerant to our weather in the area. But I would recommend it. Some wonderful qualities. The doors open and close. You can see inside with some plexiglass windows. There's a little sliding door if you wanted to keep your birds in the upstairs rather than letting them come back down. There's a ladder, a little ramp that will come down, and just like the one that we made at our house, they can graze the full length. One additional quality, which makes this particular coop shine, is this pulled-out tray. It allows you to swap out the contents of your coop without putting your hands inside. It does need a good scrub down at the end of the year. We brought it in as the winter was coming in, and this will get swapped out and go out in the spring very soon. On the far end here, should your birds be in here, if you have a couple that will live in this long term, it does open and you can access your eggs, just like the ones that we talked about outside. This is the run, which attaches to the outside. I spun it around so that you could see. We reinforced along the side to create a wind barrier and a sunblock. Where this particular coop sits, it gets a lot of afternoon sun, and our birds were cooking right inside their coop. So we added that as one more feature for our birds. I've mentioned before that our weather here is both hot and cold, and so what we did, we took some lumber and we built a base out by the garden and allowed for this to sit on top of it. So we'll bolt it down so that predators can't lift it, can't get to our birds, but it keeps this particular chicken coop off of the ground, away from the moisture just a little bit, and will hopefully help it to last just a little bit longer. If you're looking at a big box store for your chicken coops, some things to remember are the joints. It's kind of like putting together anything from IKEA. So be careful when you put the screws in, otherwise you're gonna, you may split the wood just a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm talking kind of fast because the toddlers are up and Dad's trying to keep them busy. But like all things from IKEA, be careful that you're putting the screws in the right place. We did turn one door upside down because we didn't read the instructions careful enough the first go around. You can add things to make them your own. You can paint them and make them absolutely adorable. Put a flower box on the outside, some little windows. These are great as far as accessibility for children. I would not put as many birds in there as they sometimes call for. So be a little conservative is what I would say. I think this particular coop said up to 6 birds, and I would not put 6 birds in this coop. I would put at most probably 2 a nice pair, or if there was, again, a need for a sick bay, we could use this as well. But it's wonderful for juveniles who have outgrown the brooder. They want to get outside, they want to eat some bugs, but they're not quite ready for the big kids on the big playground yet in the big coops. So this is our interim area. This coop is one of 2 coops that were awarded to our farm in a grant from the Farmer Veteran Coalition. We selected these coops in our statewide search because they were built in Ohio by a family in Zanesville who have a business named Carpenter's Coops. Carpenter's Coops are built with solid wood, they have metal roofs, and the run that you see in the back is awesome because the peak is very high, which allows for maintenance and care of your birds. Come on inside, I'll show you some of the other really cool qualities. I'm not very good at these videos. While our winters are cold, our summers are very hot. Ventilation inside the coop was particularly important to us. We have a window in the back that can open and close and includes a screen so that predators can't get to our birds. The roof here has a layer of insulation, and as you can see, it's constructed of really nice wood. We added an extra roost. I'm going to try and turn this again. Not my forte. Again, not my forte. Roosting bar. We added an egg to our coop so that the birds have the full length of the coop twice. Coming out of a really cold spell, so it's really nice to come in and see our chickens laying eggs daily. 2 awesome eggs that will either go on our plate or one in our community. We selected these, oh, they're still warm. One of the reasons we selected the Carpenter's Coops, they have these beautiful laying boxes which we can access from the outside of the coop. We don't have to come in and disturb our hens when we want to retrieve the eggs. It may seem like a small task, but it's really helpful to both the birds and us. She's not real happy with me, so we'll go on outside and I'll show you from the exterior. Everything on our farm is factored in as far as the function that it performs, but it doesn't hurt to have something that's cute as well. These adorable doors reminded us of something out of Hansel and Gretel's storybook. Not only are they cute, but they also offer a peek inside the coop from the outside. They're reinforced with the metal fencing here so that predators can't access your birds. This cross ventilation will be particularly helpful in the summertime. As promised, here's a peek inside of our laying boxes. What I've counted inside here right now, we've got 5 in the first box, 2 in the second box. She startled me. And a hen in the 4th box. You'll find that your birds are going to gravitate towards 1 or 2 boxes. They're social animals just like people, and they tend to lay in the same areas all the time. Alright guys, it's getting pretty cold. This whole video has been at the end of winter 2016 at Schneider's Hop House in Aurora, Ohio. I want to thank you for bearing with me. This is my first attempt at putting an informative video out from our farm. And it's my first attempt at trying to run the tripod around the farm while the toddlers chase me and the cat too. So thank you so much for your patience. Let's go ahead and review what we talked about today. We talked about ensuring that you're allowed to have chickens within your municipality. Consider how many birds you'd like to have in the space you have available for them. There's one of the cats right now. The cat is literally chasing me, so I came over here to say thank you for bearing with me throughout this first video of mine. My face is kind of frozen. We're going to call it here in a second, but I wanted to review. If you're going to get some chicks, make sure that you're allowed to have them by your municipality. Make sure you have a place for them to sleep that is warm, free of draft, and that is prepared with water and food. Make sure that you can have your chickens for a couple of years that are not going to go anywhere. Make sure that you have selected a breed that fits your lifestyle, whatever that may be. Make sure you're ready for lots of fun. If you have any questions, shoot us an email at schneidershophouse@gmail.com, and we'll do our very best to get back with you. Best of luck. I hope you enjoy your chicken adventure.